The siren wailed like a banshee in the night, cutting through the humid summer air of downtown Chicago as blue lights flashed across the alleyway. 17-year-old Zyro Harper clutched his bleeding nose, the metallic taste of blood filling his mouth, while two uniformed officers loomed over him, their batons still raised. "That's what you get for flaunting that rainbow crap in our city," one snarled, kicking Zyro's fallen pride badge into the gutter. Zyro had been walking home from his first pride event, buzzing with the thrill of finally feeling seen among thousands of others like him. He'd pinned the small enamel badge to his jacket that morning, a quiet declaration of who he was after years of hiding. But in that shadowed alley, what started as a routine stop for suspicious loitering escalated into a nightmare when the officers spotted the symbol. One grabbed him by the collar, demanding he remove it, calling it provocative garbage. When Zyro refused, standing his ground with trembling defiance, the fists came down. Curled on the cold pavement, Zyro's mind raced to his father, Marcus Harper, the man who'd raised him single-handedly after his mother's death. Marcus was a ghost from another life, a retired FBI special agent who'd spent decades in covert ops, taking down cartels and terrorists. But to Zyro, he was just Dad, the quiet widower who worked as a security consultant now, always preaching patience and the rule of law. "Justice comes through the system, son," he'd say. Yet as Zyro spat blood and heard the officers laughing, he wondered if the system even cared about kids like him. Stumbling home that night, Zyro avoided the mirror, not wanting to see the bruises blooming across his face. He collapsed on the couch, phone in hand, debating whether to call his boyfriend, Jamie. They'd met at school 6 months ago, two closeted teens finding solace in stolen moments behind the bleachers. Jamie was the reason Zyro had gone to Pride. He'd encouraged him to embrace his identity. But telling Jamie now felt like admitting defeat, like the world had won in stamping out their fragile happiness. The front door creaked open hours later, and Marcus stepped in, his sharp eyes immediately locking onto Zyro's swollen features. "What happened?" he demanded, voice low and controlled, the way it got when he sensed danger. Zyro broke down, recounting the assault through sobs, the slurs, the blows, the way the officers had radioed in a false report of resistance. Marcus listened without interruption, his jaw tightening like a vice. He pulled Zyro into a rare hug, whispering, "I'll handle this." But in his eyes, Zyro saw a flicker of the old agent, the one who'd survived ambushes in foreign lands. The next morning, Marcus was already at work. He didn't call the police internal affairs. He knew better. Instead, he dusted off his old contacts, fellow ex-agents, lawyers with grudges against corrupt badges. By noon, he'd obtained body cam footage through a back channel, showing the unprovoked attack in grainy but damning detail. The officers, veterans with a history of complaints, had targeted Zyro not just for the badge but because he looked like one of those types, as one muttered on tape. Zyro spent the day in bed, fielding worried texts from Jamie. "Come over," Jamie urged. "We can talk about it." Reluctantly, Zyro agreed, slipping out while Marcus was on the phone. At Jamie's house, in the safety of his room, they held each other. "I thought things were getting better," Zyro whispered. Pride was supposed to be a celebration. Jamie, with his easy smile and gentle touch, kissed Zyro's forehead. "It is for us, but out there is still a fight." Their conversation turned to dreams of leaving Chicago after high school, maybe heading to a more accepting city like San Francisco. But beneath the hope, fear lingered. What if this incident shattered Zyro's confidence forever? Back home, Marcus revealed his plan over dinner. "We're not letting this slide," he said. "But we do it smart, legal." Zyro nodded, though doubt crept in. The system had failed so many before. Friends at school shared stories of ignored hate crimes, families torn apart by prejudice. As father and son, their bond had always been strong, forged in loss, but this tested it. Marcus saw Zyro's sexuality not as a flaw but as part of who he was, yet he'd never fully understood the daily battles. "I should have protected you better," Marcus admitted, voice cracking for the first time in years. Word spread quickly in their tight-knit neighborhood. Neighbors whispered about the incident, some offering sympathy, others averting eyes, revealing the undercurrent of homophobia still pulsing through suburban America. At school, Zyro faced stares and murmurs, his bruises a badge of their own. Jamie stood by him, holding his hand in the hallway for the first time publicly, a small act of rebellion that drew both support and sneers. One teacher pulled Zyro aside, advising discretion. Not everyone is ready for change. It stung, reinforcing the isolation. Marcus's investigation deepened. He uncovered a pattern. These officers had multiple unreported incidents involving LGBTQ youth. One victim, a trans girl from the South Side, had been hospitalized last year but dropped charges out of fear. Marcus reached out anonymously, building a coalition. "This isn't just about you, Zyro," he explained. "It's about stopping them from hurting others." Zyro felt a surge of purpose, but also conflict. Revenge tempted him, yet he feared escalating violence. As days turned to weeks, tension mounted. Zyro and Jamie's relationship blossomed amid the chaos, their dates now laced with deeper conversations about identity and resilience. One evening in the park, under the same sky where pride had begun, Jamie confessed, "I'm scared for us, but I love you more because of how you're fighting back." Zyro's heart swelled, but shadows loomed. The officers had been suspended pending review, but rumors hinted at retaliation. The courtroom loomed like a coliseum, its wooden benches filled with a mix of supporters and skeptics, as the civil suit against the Chicago Police Department began. Marcus sat rigidly beside Zyro, his special agent instincts on high alert, scanning for threats. Zyro, dressed in a crisp shirt to hide fading bruises, gripped Jamie's hand under the table, drawing strength from his boyfriend's steady presence. The trial exposed raw nerves. The defense painted Zyro as a troubled teen, provoking authority, twisting his pride badge into a symbol of defiance rather than identity. Witnesses for the officers claimed the footage was edited, igniting outrage from LGBTQ advocates in the gallery. Marcus took the stand, his testimony a masterclass in controlled fury. "My son was assaulted for being who he is," he stated, voice echoing. "And these men, sworn to protect, became the predators." Flashbacks haunted Zyro during breaks. He remembered coming out to Marcus 2 years ago, over pancakes on a rainy Sunday. "Dad, I'm gay," he'd blurted, expecting rejection. Instead, Marcus had paused, then said, "I know, kid, and I'm proud of you." It was a turning point, but now, in this public arena, their private world was dissected. Reporters hounded them outside, some sympathetic, others sensationalizing. Ex-agent's gay son sues cops. Vengeance or justice? Jamie became Zyro's anchor. After long court days, they'd escape to quiet spots. A diner, a lakeside bench, sharing dreams amid the storm. "What if we lose?" Zyro worried one night. Jamie squeezed his hand. "We won't. And even if we do, we've got each other." Their love, once hidden, now fueled Zyro's resolve, but societal backlash tested it. Jamie's parents, conservative types, pressured him to distance himself. "This drama isn't good for you." Jamie refused, choosing Zyro over family approval, a choice that deepened their bond but sparked family rifts. Marcus's past resurfaced in unexpected ways. An old colleague, now a high-ranking official, leaked internal memos showing the department's history of covering up bias incidents. "You're stirring a hornet's nest," the friend warned. Marcus shrugged it off, but at home, he confided in Zyro. "I left the agency because I got tired of the gray areas, but for you I'd cross lines." Zyro sensed the internal conflict, his father's code of honor clashing with paternal rage. Community response polarized. Online, hashtags like Justice for Zyro trended, drawing allies from across the country. But hate groups countered with vitriol, doxing Zyro and Jamie, forcing them to change numbers. One night, eggs shattered against their front door, scrawled with slurs. Marcus installed security cameras, his agent paranoia kicking in. "They're trying to intimidate us," he said. Zyro nodded, but fear gnawed. Was fighting worth the cost? In court, A pivotal moment came when the trans girl Marcus contacted testified. Her story mirrored Zyro's, humanizing the pattern of abuse. The jury shifted, murmurs turning to nods. But the officer's lawyer cross-examined brutally, questioning her identity, drawing objections. Zyro seethed, realizing the trial wasn't just about him. It exposed systemic rot, where prejudice hid behind badges. Post-hearing, Zyro and Jamie faced their own crisis. Jamie's father confronted them at a family dinner, demanding Jamie choose normality. Tears flowed as Jamie stood firm. Zyro is my normal. The fallout left Jamie crashing at Zyro's, strengthening their relationship but highlighting the personal toll of societal clashes. Marcus uncovered more. One officer had ties to a far-right group, posting anti-LGBT rhetoric online. He presented it as evidence, tipping the scales. But victory felt hollow when Zyro received anonymous threats. "Back off or pay," one read. Marcus traced it to a burner phone, his skills sharpening. "I won't let them touch you again," he vowed. As the trial neared verdict, tensions peaked. Zyro questioned his choices. Had wearing the badge invited trouble? Jamie reassured him, "No, their hate did." In a quiet moment, they shared a kiss under streetlights, a defiant act of love amid adversity. The jury deliberated for days, the weight agonizing. Marcus paced, Zyro and Jamie clung together. When the foreman announced guilty on all counts, relief washed over them. Damages awarded. Substantial, but more importantly, the officers fired, policies reformed. Cheers erupted, but Marcus's eyes held reservation. Justice served, yet the war far from won. In the aftermath, Zyro reflected on growth. The incident had forged him, turning fear into advocacy. He and Jamie volunteered at LGBTQ centers, helping others navigate similar storms. Marcus, too, evolved, joining support groups for parents of queer kids, his stoic facade cracking to reveal vulnerability. Yet shadows lingered. Whispers of departmental resentment hinted at unofficial backlash. One evening, Marcus received a cryptic call. "You think it's over?" He hung up, but Zyro overheard, worry etching his face. Months after the trial, life in Chicago settled into an uneasy normalcy for Zyro and his family. The settlement money funded Zyro's college dreams, but the scars, physical and emotional, reminded him daily of the cost. He and Jamie, now openly together, navigated senior year with newfound confidence, yet caution never fully faded. Marcus threw himself into pro bono work, consulting for civil rights cases involving police misconduct. "This is my new mission," he told Zyro over breakfast. But late nights, he'd stare at old photos of his agency days, wrestling with the temptation to go beyond the law. "Sometimes the system needs a push," he muttered once, eyes distant. Zyro's advocacy grew. He spoke at school assemblies about LGBTQ rights, sharing his story to mixed reactions. Applause from allies, heckles from detractors. One bully, emboldened by online echo chambers, cornered him. "You ruined good cops' lives." Zyro stood tall. "They ruined mine first." Jamie, witnessing it, pulled him away, their hands intertwined a shield against hate. Family dynamics shifted. Jamie's parents, after months of silence, reached out tentatively. An awkward dinner ensued, where apologies mingled with lingering judgments. "We're trying," Jamie's mom said. Zyro smiled politely, but inside, resentment simmered. Acceptance shouldn't be conditional. Societal conflicts escalated. A local bill proposing stricter hate crime laws sparked debates, with Zyro testifying before city council. Opponents argued it promoted special treatment, igniting protests outside. Marcus flanked him, ever vigilant. During the hearing, a heckler shouted slurs, security intervening. Zyro's voice shook but held. "This isn't special. It's equal protection." In private, Zyro and Jamie faced intimacy hurdles, not physical but emotional. The trauma made Zyro withdraw at times, doubting his worth. "What if I'm too broken?" he confessed. Jamie held him. "You're not broken. You're brave." Their talks deepened their connection, turning vulnerability into strength. Marcus's past caught up. An ex-partner from the agency visited, bearing warnings. Those officers have friends in low places. Watch your back. Marcus nodded, but that night he retrieved a hidden safe, checking his old service weapon. Zyro discovered it accidentally, confronting him. Dad! No vigilante stuff. Marcus sighed. Just precaution, son. Tensions boiled over at a community event. Zyro and Jamie attended a Pride fundraiser, where supporters cheered them as heroes. But infiltrators from hate groups disrupted, chanting derogatory slogans. Chaos erupted, punches thrown. In the melee, an assailant targeted Zyro, but Marcus intervened, disarming him with expert precision. Police arrived, arresting the agitators, but Marcus's involvement raised eyebrows. Had he overstepped? Media frenzy followed. Ex-agent takes law into own hands? Headlines questioned if Marcus's actions blurred justice and revenge. Zyro defended him publicly, but privately worried. Dad, you're scaring me. Marcus admitted. I can't lose you like I lost your mom. The revelation, her death in a random mugging, explained his protectiveness, forging deeper understanding. Jamie's family rift mended slowly. His father attended a therapy session, admitting fears rooted in upbringing. I don't understand it all, but I see how happy you make him. It was progress, but Zyro remained wary, knowing acceptance could waver. As graduation approached, Zyro and Jamie planned futures. College in New York, a fresh start. But a final conflict loomed. Anonymous tips suggested the fired officers plotted retaliation. Marcus investigated discreetly, uncovering a scheme to harass Zyro online and off. He confronted one ex-cop privately, warning, "Stay away or face consequences." The man backed down, but the encounter left Marcus shaken. Had he become what he fought? Zyro learned of it, sparking argument. "You promised legal," Marcus countered. "For you, I'd do anything." The clash highlighted their differing views. Zyro's faith in systemic change versus Marcus's pragmatic cynicism. In resolution, they united for a press conference, announcing a foundation for LGBTQ youth protection. Donors flocked, turning pain into purpose. Jamie stood beside Zyro, their love a beacon. Yet, as summer waned, a chilling incident. A brick through the window, note attached, "Payback." Marcus traced it quickly, leading to arrests. Justice prevailed, but the cycle of conflict persisted. With college on the horizon, Zyro and Jamie packed dreams amid lingering threats. New York promised freedom, but leaving Chicago meant abandoning the fight they'd ignited. "We'll come back stronger," Jamie assured, as they sorted boxes in Zyro's room. Marcus, ever the strategist, secured scholarships and safe housing. But his health faltered, stress-induced migraines, a remnant of agency days. Zyro noticed, urging rest. "You've done enough." Marcus smiled weakly. "Never enough for you." Campus visits revealed a vibrant queer scene, easing Zyro's anxieties. Yet, back home, societal divides deepened. A national debate on police reform spotlighted their case, with politicians citing it for agendas. Conservatives decried woke overreach. Liberals hailed progress. Zyro appeared on podcasts, articulating, "It's not about sides, it's about humanity." Jamie's evolution shone. Once shy, he now led school LGBTQ clubs inspired by Zyro. Their relationship, tested by fire, grew resilient. Dates involved activism, marches, fundraisers, blending love with purpose. "You're my hero," Jamie whispered during one rally. Marcus's secrets unraveled. Digging deeper, Zyro found files on the officers' network, including off-record intimidations. "How far did you go, Dad?" he asked. Marcus confessed. "I bent rules, but never broke them." It sparked ethical debates. Where does protection end and overreach begin? A turning point came at a family therapy session. Marcus opened about his wife's death, how it fueled his hypervigilance. "I failed her. I won't fail you." Tears flowed, healing old wounds. Zyro shared his fears of inadequacy, Jamie offering support. Bonds strengthened. Externally, backlash intensified. A documentary crew approached, wanting their story. Zyro agreed, seeing it as amplification. Filming unearthed painful memories, but also triumphs. During interviews, Jamie spoke eloquently. Love shouldn't be a battleground. As departure neared, a final confrontation. The lead officer, out on bail for unrelated charges, approached Marcus at a coffee shop. "You destroyed my life," he growled. Marcus replied calmly, "You destroyed yours." The exchange, caught on camera, went viral, reigniting discussions on accountability. Zyro's last Chicago Pride was triumphant. Marching with Jamie and Marcus, flags waving, he felt empowered. But a counter-protest turned violent, stones thrown. In the scuffle, Jamie shielded Zyro, taking a hit. Hospitalized briefly, it underscored risks. Recovery brought clarity. "We can't let fear win," Jamie said from his bed. Zyro nodded, their commitment solidified. Marcus, reflecting, handed Zyro a letter. "My ops taught me survival. You taught me justice." It was a passing of the torch. In New York, they settled into dorm life, the city a whirlwind of acceptance. Yet news from home, reformed policies but ongoing incidents, kept them engaged remotely. A year in, Zyro proposed a joint project, a book on their journey. Jamie agreed, collaborating on chapters blending personal anecdotes with social commentary. Challenges persisted. Distance from Marcus tested, but video calls bridged gaps. Jamie's family visited, tentative bonds forming. As the story circled back, Zyro pondered choices. Had defiance been worth the pain? Affirmative, for the growth it spurred. 2 years into college, Zyro and Jamie's life in New York pulsed with energy. Their apartment a haven amid skyscrapers. Degrees in social justice and journalism fueled their advocacy, turning personal trauma into widespread impact. Marcus visited often, his pride evident, though retirement suited him. Gardening, volunteering, a softer side emerging. Their book, Badge of Honor, hit shelves, chronicling the assault, trial, and aftermath. Reviews praised its raw emotion, sparking national dialogues. Talk shows invited them, where Zyro articulated, "Change starts with stories." Jamie added, "And love sustains it." Backlash followed. Critics accused sensationalism, some claiming the officers were scapegoats. Online trolls resurfaced, but Zyro and Jamie, battle-hardened, ignored them. Marcus advised, "Focus on the wins." Personal milestones marked progress. Jamie proposed on their anniversary, a simple ring in Central Park. "Yes," Zyro beamed, their future sealed. Wedding plans intertwined with activism, inviting diverse guests. Marcus's health scare, a minor heart episode, brought them home briefly. "You two are my legacy," he said from the hospital. Recovery strengthened family ties. Societal shifts occurred. Their case influenced federal guidelines on hate crimes, a quiet victory. Yet new stories emerged, similar assaults elsewhere, reminding them the fight continued. In reflection, Zyro questioned paths taken. The pride badge, the lawsuit, the exposures. Each choice rippled, affecting lives beyond their own. At a book signing, a young gay teen approached. "Your story saved me. It validated everything." As narratives converged, high drama yielded to hopeful resolution. Love triumphed, but scars reminded of costs. Was the father's intervention a necessary act of protection, or did it perpetuate a cycle of extralegal justice that undermines the system?